Hello and welcome back to Lendy Cowes Week. It's day 2, Sunday, and what a difference. The sun's out, the breeze is up, the forecast looks good. This is going to be a classic Cowes Week day. But on top of that, today's theme is Family Day. And throughout the day, we'll be taking a little look at those who are competing today.
There's 3 generations in our boat. I'm Richard Dobbs. I've been racing with my father, who's 80, and my son and nephew. So we have 3 generations of us. We're from Seaview and we're racing a Seaview Mermaid. On a Mermaid in Cowes Week, we always race as a family. I've been sailing with my father, Noel Dobbs, since the first Cowes Week we did together in 1975.
And how do you split the responsibilities in the boat? Who does what?
Well, I think we all have a different view. My son would say he does everything and we just shout at him. But I do the navigation, my father helms, and my son and nephew, they do the sails.
When was your first Cowes Week?
I've sailed cows not in mermaids necessarily, since about 1953 or 54.
Craig, you must have seen quite a few changes in that time.
Yes, and it's all been great fun sailing with my sons in the 70s and now grandsons in the noughties or whatever they're now called.
Does it feel strange to be sailing with sort of a whole family, or I guess maybe just because you've grown up with it, it feels quite normal?
Yeah, it does actually feel quite normal because we've been sailing. I've been sailing with them since I can remember, so it does feel really normal.
Who gets the final say on the boat then?
Probably Grandpa, but he bosses everyone around.
And what makes Cowes special?
Lots of boats, lots of good atmosphere. I don't party because I've said very firmly I either sail or I party, I don't do both.
Well, it was a tricky day for most classes out on the water, but we caught up with one of the crews in the Fast 40 Plus class.
Yeah, I think what we've seen this year is a lot of the older boats who've done some modifications have actually raised their game a bit and are a lot more competitive than perhaps they were 2 years ago when they first started. So I think, you know, the level's definitely gone up quite a few notches actually from when the class first evolved, and certainly the older boats are really pushing the newer boats on the water and certainly, you know, on handicap as well.
Just to show
and off go
how
the
much they wanted
Fast
to start
40
at this right-hand
pluses.
end.
And about 10, 12 of these entered this year. They look great as they scream away.
The price tag for new boats, you know, it's not a cheap thing to go and do. The great thing about the older boats is that they are somewhat, you know, more affordable, if I could say that, and still they seem, you know, bang for buck. They're right up there. So it ain't going to be cheap, but you know, you're going to get some fantastic racing for sure.
Cowes. Essentially, it has a real regatta focus. You know, you're all in one place after racing, and then you've got the augmentation of probably 7 or 8 yacht clubs who really go the extra yard in Cowes Week. So, you know, I think it's got a lot to offer.
The special thing about the Solent is playing with the tides and all the different conditions you get all off the land masses around the Solent during the week. There's just a magic atmosphere here. I love racing in the Solent, and this is the best week for doing just that.
While it was champagne conditions on the water, getting the best out of the day was also pretty tricky. Giles Peckham in the daring class is no stranger to having things his own way, but even he found the going tough.
Today was interesting. We decided what we wanted to do on the start line and then didn't do it, which never quite works out. And we started too far in, and the boats a bit further up the line who weren't too far out on the tide, but had an advantage there. But then it got really shifty and very interesting on that last beat, and there were some big snakes and ladders out there.
So day 2 here at Lendy Cowes Week turned out to be just the kind of sparkling affair that the forecasters had suggested it would be. Sunshine, breeze, a little bit of chop to keep people on their toes. But here out on the Bramble start line for the black group classes, the decision today was to how to best get across the east-going tide. The fact was that all the starts going out to the west meant that for the first hour of their racing, they were going to have to be plugging the tide. And the decision was whether to go straight for the mainland or to head out to get into stronger breeze and head further down the western Solent. That, coupled with a bit of a shift in the breeze, meant that there were plenty of tactics to consider.